It's the Cardinals on WB11, and today the staff ace Matt Morris looks for victory number 15 on the year, and the Cardinals look to make it 2 of 3 against the Philadelphia Phillies. 55,000 plus at the Vet on an afternoon in which they honor their Hall of Fame broadcaster Harry Kalas. Cards and Phillies, the rubber game of this 3-game set. With Al Roboski, my name is Dan McLaughlin. We welcome you to Cardinals baseball. Al, this has already been a very good road trip. A win today seals a great trip.
Well, it really would, and it's really going to be a good pitching matchup as two all-stars will be going at it each other today. Matt Morris, one of the best when pitching on the road, and also Padilla has the best home ERA in the National League.
Let's break down what Matt Morris has done this season. As we mentioned, it'll be victory number 15 today if he can get that win, and he's already won 1 game on this current road trip.
Yeah, he needs to really step up, just continue what he's been doing. He's won his last 2 starts in convincing fashion. Last time out, we saw him really stay away from the breaking ball until later in the game, but an awful lot of sinkers, power sinkers, getting a lot of ground ball outs, and also used as a changeup very effectively.
You talked about Vicente Padilla. He's an all-star this year for the Phillies. What does he bring to the table?
Well, he throws an awful lot of fastballs. The Cardinals are hoping they're going to get something in the strike zone.
It's Morris and Padilla, Cards and Phils. It's coming up next. Cardinals baseball on WB11 is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on WB11. By Dobbs Tire Auto Centers, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Steamy day here in Philadelphia. Well over 100 degrees on the field as Matt Morris looks for his 15th victory of the season. He's 14-7 against Vicente Padilla, who's 12-7 on the year. Inside the numbers, it's brought to you by Bank of America. Over the last 10 days, the batting average is near 300 for the Cardinals. They are 8-2 over these last 10 days. There you see the runs per game. The home runs are up. Stolen bases and ERA very, very good in that department as well, as Tony La Russa and the Cardinals are meeting for the first of their 2 series against the Philadelphia Phillies. And like we said during the open here, Al, it's a chance at a great road trip.
Absolutely. We need to win this one, go home with a winning record on the road. The Cardinals currently are 500, 31-31. Good home record of 36-22. You know, Dan, when you really look at it, the Cardinals have had a lot of trouble with the Eastern Division of the National League, where they've only won 10 of 26 games.
Nice ceremony with Harry Kalas here before the game.
What do you think? Another 35 years and you'll be out there?
And no. I'm looking for the Roboski bobblehead next year.
Nah, it's going to be Shannon Roboski.
Shannon Roboski.
With no heads.
This is the ceremony about 20 minutes ago. And we mentioned 55,000 plus. And one of the biggest reactions of the day was Scott Rowland at the very end of the ceremony, opening up the door to the car for Harry Kalas. And Rowland, by the way, not in the lineup here today. What a great guy Harry Kalas is.
Yeah, just a very distinct voice. That is the widow of Richie Ashburn, who was also part of the dual bobblehead. But it was kind of nice. Glenn Wilson and Darren Dalton kind of were the master of the ceremonies, but all kinds of former players were here, from Steve Carlton, Mike Schmidt, Lazinski, Nails, Lenny Dykstra, John Kruk, a lot of them, then of course all the current players.
Phillies have taken to the field, and let's take a look at Tony La Russa's lineup here today. La Russa, by the way, just 2 wins away for 10th place on the all-time managerial list. Vina, Drew, Edmonds, and Pujols, Martinez, Renteria, Robinson, Matheny, and Matt Morris. And again, no Scott Rowland in the lineup today for the Cardinals. Look at the defense for the Philadelphia Phillies. Pretty good defense team here with Larry Bowa at the helm. Lieberthal's behind the plate. Padilla on the mound. Polanco and Jimmy Rollins on the left side of the infield. Anderson and Lee on the right side. And in the outfield, Burrell, Leday, and Abreu. Vicente Padilla is our Chrysler Jeep starter and all-star this year, Al.
Well, he was, a replacement for Tom Glavine. He's 6-2, an ERA under 2 in his 12 starts at the Vet this year, and he has the best home ERA in the National League. So the Cardinals are going to have their hands full with this guy.
Let's turn to our quality forward matchup. Vicente Padilla, there you see what he's done here at home, and that's the best ERA in the National League at home, 1.91. And oddly enough, Matt Morris, one of the best ERAs on the road.
Matty really has the best ERA, or much better at night, but we'll take him anytime. But Padilla really came over in the Kurt Schilling trade. They had used him as a reliever, and then last season spent about half the time at AAA learning how to start. Or at Scranton, he was 7-0 in 16 starts, an ERA of 2.42. So first year really starting at the major league level, and he's making the most of it.
Umpires today: John Hirschbeck is behind the plate, C.B. Bucknor is at first, Mark Carlson is the second base umpire, and Wally Bell is at third. Well, the Cardinals will return home tonight and then take on the Pirates tomorrow, with Andy Bennis going up against Kip Wells. 4 games against the Pirates. None of those games will be televised locally, and you want to head down and watch the Cardinals 1st to 4 tomorrow night against the Pirates.
Scott Rowan getting a little time off. His shoulder is a little touchy right now, and so we're trying to give him a little time off to get that better. I'm sure he'll be back in the lineup tomorrow.
Redbirds are 8-8 to begin the month of August. They've been held to 1 run or less in their last 8 defeats this month. Feast or famine pretty much with this offense, as Vigna will lead it off. He's been struggling a little bit. Averages down to 268. 209 with our first pitch, and a good play made by Polanco. Takes a hit away from Vigna.
Polanco playing in. Seen Scott Rowland make that play. And now all the boos are just all on the shoulders of J.D. Drew. You know, there probably would be a few more boos if everybody knew that it was yesterday was Kent Samuel's birthday.
Our fine director
turned 75 yesterday.
Yeah. Most of us will be heading home and grabbing our luggage and heading to a nice night's sleep at home. It'll be good to get back home. 1 out, and the pitch is a ball to J.D. Drew. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ground ball hit to second. There's Marlon Anderson. Little flip and some cheers as Drew is thrown out. Two outs, nobody on. That brings in Edmonds. Cardinals are 4 games up on the Astros in the NL Central, 5.5 in front of Cincinnati. 62 days now the Cardinals have been in first place. Jimmy's hitting .315. He struck out 4 times the other night against Randy Wolf. And prior to that shutout, they had 46 runs in those 5 games prior to the shutout. Travis Lee will take it himself when the Cardinals are done. Bottom of the first is coming up. Bottom of the first, no score. There's second-year manager Larry Bowa of the Philadelphia Phillies. We take a look at his lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Ricky Leday is the leadoff man, playing center. Rollins, Abreu, then Burrell, 29 home runs for the cleanup man. Lieberthal, Lee, Polanco, Anderson, and then Padilla. Defensively for the Cardinals today, Pujols is really the only change. Roland is out. Pujols at third. Robinson takes over for Pujols in left, along with Edmonds and Drew in the outfield. Pujols, Renteria on the left side of the infield. Vigna, Martinez on the right side. Mike Matheny is behind the plate. And on the mound, our Chrysler Jeep starter, Matt Morris for St. Louis.
Club high 27th start here today. He's 1-1 with an ERA of 2.84 against Philadelphia. The Cards have won 6 of his 7 starts since the All-Star break.
And he starts things out with a fastball to Ricky Leday. Leday came up with the Yankees back in 1998. Played with Cleveland, Texas, and now Philadelphia. He lines it up the middle for a base hit. In that leadoff spot, Ricky Leday with a leadoff base hit.
His father last week, earlier this week, his wife presented him with their third child, a little girl. And see the tailing action, but right to the middle of the plate. And nice compact swing with a base hit up the middle.
Here's a fan favorite, Jimmy Rollins. As we take a look at the numbers before the break and now after the break for Matt Morris. Remember, Al, prior to the break, last week and a half, 2 weeks, Morris was running out of gas, but since then he's regrouped physically and mentally and is making a strong push here down the stretch.
And it's like Renteria is going to call timeout, probably to get some glasses. And that's exactly. Barry Weinberg just handing him some glasses. Bright sunny day. Very, very warm temperatures for the East Coast.
This is the biggest crowd since opening day for the Phillies. 55,000 plus. Rollins, a speedster, leads the National League in triples. He's got 8.
What representatives do they have, the Phillies have on the All-Star team?
2.
Rollins and Padilla.
I think Roland was there too.
Roland was there. Was Lieberthal?
I don't think he was. Not this year.
Fast. We had one, and Matt Morris, wisely, as you kind of noted, kind of begged out, but went.
3-1 the count on the switch hitting Jimmy Rollins. Cardinals trying to make it 2 in a row after a good start yesterday by Simon Tachi. Popped up left side. Long way to go for the shortstop Renteria. Foul ground, and he's got it. They made that right move and going to get the glasses. That helped him out for out number 1.
A lot of times you'll see somebody that will say, oh, I'll wait for the end of the inning. Not the right time to do it, because you never know. Nick's ball may go up there and you can lose it. Looking right up into the sun, waves off Kerry Robinson, the left fielder, and makes the catch. Much better angle for the shortstop than a third baseman going directly back on the ball.
Brings in Bobby Abreu. Last year was the first year since '97 that he did not hit 300 better. Very good hitter, hitting .295, but 0 for 8 in this series. Lines it to Viña, who gets it. Great play by Fernando.
It's a catch. It's a catch. First base umpire C.B. Buckner is saying he's in the act of taking the ball out of his glove where it pops out. Nice line drive, and he catches it here, still in his glove, reaches in, and that's what all that you need to do. You have to reach in before it's classified as a catch.
2 down. Here's Pat Burrell. When Burrell came up, very much a free swinger. But he's cut down his swing a little bit, not much. But the strikeouts are down from a year ago. 29 home runs, 89 RBIs, great power. One of the top college players to come out from the University of Miami.
And with the trade of Roland, they say it's Burrell's clubhouse now.
1 ball, 1 strike on the cleanup man. Line drive up the middle. Viña can't get it. Edmonds will get it back in quickly, and back to second goes Ricky Leday. He thought about heading to third, but he would have been dead to right.
Matt throwing that ball. Like Matheny was set up outside, the ball started coming back inside. So probably an error in location, but still it didn't really hurt him. We'll see Matt takes him a little time to settle in. And once he does, he kind of dominates at second and even third time in the order.
Here's Lieberthal, the catcher. 2 hits in the inning by Leday and Pat Burrell. Simon Tachi last night, or yesterday afternoon, 7 strikeouts in 7 innings. And he went away from his slider, Al. He barely even threw it. It's all changeups. Tap foul now. Lieberthal in the hole, 1-2. Under Jason Simon-Tachi. 7 Ks in 7 innings. Just 2 hits allowed.
To see him pitch such a dominant game.
Backing up, it's Pujols. Long throw. And the Phillies are done here in the first. They strand 2. Pujols will lead things off when we come back. What's on Tap is brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste it won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Our next telecast will be Friday night at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net. Phillies and the Cardinals.
And Mike Schmidt.
Yep, Hall of Famer right there.
Yeah, what's he doing in the dugout?
Uniform?
It'll have to be with the permission of Tony La Russa. Of course, Tony has had Mike as help out as an instructor a little bit in spring training as he lives in Jupiter. 2 wins away from 10th place in the all-time win list, right?
It's going to be another Hall of Famer right there.
Yeah, he's got a chance to end up about 3rd on the all-time list.
Pujols will lead things off for the Cardinals here in the second. Albert's hitting .299. Padilla had a 1-2-3 first. And a strike, 86 miles an hour. It's not overpowering, but he's around the plate, hits his spots. And here at the vet in his 12 starts, he's 6-2. Quickly 0-2. Last start for Padilla was against Milwaukee. That was his 12th win of the season, 7 shutout innings. His first career appearance against the Brewers.
The starting pitching has been brilliant for the Phillies of late.
Fly ball into left field. Burrow has it. Hey, Cardinal fans, the Cardinals have added another great promotion for this season. August 20th, the Cardinals will give away a special edition, a Heartland collectible statue of Hall of Famer Ozzie Smith to the first 30,000 fans with a paid admission to the 7-10 game. The McDonald's Go Crazy Folks statue features Ozzie in his memorable dash around the bases with his fist clenched high in the air. So don't miss it. August 20th, Tuesday. Pirates and Cardinals and the Ozzie Smith statue. Here is Tino Martinez.
Ozzie's going to be in Philadelphia tomorrow for a charity event. Barry Callis was telling me that. The Wizard kind enough to do that.
Something that Ozzie's going to start doing is a chance at turning a double play to raise money for Cardinals Care. He did it during the Hall of Fame weekend. Raised over $20,000 in a couple of hours. Two balls and a strike on Tino Martinez. Pretty high expectations for this Phillies team. They posted their first winning record since '93 last year. They improved by 21 games over the year before. They weren't out of it till the final weekend. It's up the middle. Rollins to his left, can't come up with it. So base hit for Tino Martinez, first hit today for St. Louis.
Well, 2 defensive players had a chance at that ball. The ball get by the pitcher, then even Rollins has a chance there. Couldn't hold on to it, and they would have a chance to throw Tino out.
I think he would have.
Yep.
Here's Edgar Renteria, 309 on the year. Strike one. See Bernie Williams yesterday, just one hit shy of 12 straight for the Yankees.
Yeah. Edmonds had that string in Houston a couple years ago.
Right.
That was unbelievable. But
that was mixed in with walks, though, too.
Yeah. Neo dropped down on occasion, like he just did. Cardinals are aware of it. Edgar stayed right in there. He's from Nicaragua. He played on their Olympic team when they went to Italy.
So we saw Simon Tachi, maybe.
No, because it was different ones.
Oh, okay. A strikeout of Edgar Renteria.
And we were talking about Padilla's flotilla. There they are.
Randy Wolf had his crew out the other night.
Yep. The Wolf Pack.
On a hot day, Carey's got the sleeves on. Robinson's average has moved up to 282.
Dan, in the pregame we saw former Cardinal Dick Allen. He'd wear a turtleneck and long wool sleeves.
Into right field, Bobby Abreu has it. No score. Following the game today, it's the WB Thursday night lineup. It's actually airing after the game today, so don't miss Reba, the Jamie Kennedy Experiment, and Off Center today following the game here on WB 11. Bottom of the second, Travis Lee, Placido Polanco, and Marlon Anderson. Lee provided some offense on Friday with a 3-run home run off of Chuck Finley. And a shutout by Randy Wolf. He goes the opposite way. And the ball gets misplayed and left by Kerry Robinson and goes to the wall. So an error on Robinson, his second. And Travis Lee moves up to second.
Turf here, the artificial surface, a little spongy. Gary tried to get over there. It's a little quicker than maybe what Kerry thought. Didn't get square up to the ball. Got by him, puts the runner in scoring position.
Nice hand for Placido Polanco. And here with Placido, let's see if he drops down a bunt to try to move up Travis Lee. Polanco's only hitting .227 with the Phillies since the trade.
Polanco is one of the leading bunters in the National League. 11 sacrifices, ranks tied for second in the National League. He's had 2 sacrifice hits since joining the Phillies. He's also 5th hardest batter to strike out in the National League. Originally drafted by the Cardinals in the 19th round in the '94 draft.
The 1-1 is pulled to short. Renteria looks back. The runner Lee at second. 1 out. How many times do you see Polanco not be able, whether it be with the bunt or hitting to the right side, not moving that runner over, but he does so there. That's the first out.
Sometimes the pitcher has a little bit to say about that too.
Yep.
See where the location is, out away from him, trying to pull it. And that'll just be a ground ball to short, the third. Good pitch there for him to go the opposite field.
Sure. Here's Marlon Anderson. No play for Renteria, an infield hit. 4 hits now for the Phillies.
The Phillies lead the National League in doubles and triples. But here, all 4 of their hits have been singles.
Brings in the pitcher, Vicente Padilla. And Morris wants to talk it over with Pujols. Padilla, if he gets a bunt on, will be his 8th sacrifice. He leads the team with 7, tied with Randy Wolf.
Not much of a hitter, only 2 hits on the year. But he does have 2 RBIs.
The corners are way in, Tino and Albert Pujols. And the pitch is a strike.
Tino's in quite a bit. And Renteria jockeying with Lee, the runner at second base, trying to keep him close so they can record an out at third.
1 ball, 1 strike. No attempt there by Padilla. Phillies are tied with Florida in the National League East, and the Mets are in the cellar now, 21.5 games out. $102 million payroll for New York. And Piazza is out with a wrist tendonitis. Al Leiter has lost 4 of his last 5. Traded away Sean Estes. Alfonso is still out.
Mark Little got traded too. Went to Arizona. Sure, that was tabloid news.
Right down the middle. And a strikeout. Padilla doesn't do his job. 2 outs in the inning.
Just a fastball right out there, and he just took it.
First strikeout of the day for Morris. Here's Ricky Leday. Originally signed by the Yankees when he was 16. Big breaking ball and a strike. How many curveballs in that first time around the order to this Phillies bunch?
Well, I think one thing it's important to establish your fastball early because everything is thrown off of it. And then it's, you know, but in this situation, you've got to break out your entire arsenal because it's a pivotal point of the game. You got runners on base.
Renteria across the diamond, and they get Leday. Phillies have stranded 4. No score. Dollar More is the largest energy assistance program in the area, helping the needy pay their energy bills. To sign up for the Dollar More program, customers must check the box on their monthly bills, fill out a pledge card, or sign up on the Ameren website at Ameren.com. Welcome you back to Veterans Stadium here in Philadelphia. No score between the Cards and the Phils. It's Mitchell Page. And he's part of our Auto Tire leaderboard as we talk about NL team leaders against right-handed pitching. And the Cardinals tops in that department at 273, our Auto Tire leaderboard. He's done a very nice job in cutting down the strikeouts, overall team strikeouts of this team.
Well, they come prepared. They get a pretty good scouting report, have an idea how the pitcher's going to pitch to them.
Here's Mike Matheny to lead off the third. Cardinals have 1 hit today off the bat of Tino Martinez. You can see Matheny step out, adjust his helmet a little bit, and try to slow up Padilla, who's worked very quickly in the first 2 innings. Al.
Well, that's not a bad strategy. Sometimes you can get a pitcher frustrated. He wants to go at his pace, and you slow him down, make him wait for you.
Matheny lines it into center, and that's a base hit. Drops in front of Ricky Leday.
Mike's hit safely in 14 of his last 19 games, better than 300. At times we saw Mike just get wild and swing at pitches off the plate. Now you see him just a much more patient and not trying to kill the ball or squeeze the sawdust out of the bat, just trying to make contact, and good things are happening.
Morris has 3 sacrifices on the year. Matheny is the runner at first, and the ball gets away. So now Morris will try to move Matheny from second to third.
See where Padilla has thrown his 3rd wild pitch. His 5th wild pitch. He's hit 10 batters this year. And see that ball just running in, just avoids Matt. So now I sacrifice him and put him over to third.
Foul tip back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. You're wondering about Scott Rowland. He is not in the lineup here today. Had 2 hits on Friday night in his return. 2-run double yesterday in the win. One and one the count. Morris gets it down. Padilla. His only play is to first base. Marlon Anderson covering, and that's the 4th sacrifice on the year for Morris, and moving up Matheny to third.
Watch right here and see Polanco race to get back. Usually the catcher's the one that calls to the pitcher, tells him which direction, whether you go to third base or you go to first. Might have been a bang play at third base, but sure out was at first.
Here's Vania, who lined out to Polanco to start the game, and a very good play by Placido. Fernando with 43 RBIs. Those are tops among leadoff men in the National League, and now time is called. What's been noticeable about this inning is the way that these hitters have approached Padilla, as Vina is hit by the pitch. And that's the 15th time that Vina has been hit, and I'm sure Padilla was getting a little sick and tired of these guys stepping out of the box, and maybe he's trying to send a message.
Now remember, I told you he's hit 11 batters, and ball right in the back. He's thrown a couple pitches inside, and it looks like we're going to get a warning. John Hirschbeck trying to control things, and this is ridiculous. Why? See what Bo is saying? Come on. Just because a guy gets hit, then you automatically think it's on purpose. In an effort to control things, a lot of times they create the environment. Pitching inside is a big part of the game. When you take that away from certain pitchers, you got 2 good pitchers here, and you take away the inside part of the plate, it leads to a lot of offense.
Here's J.D. Drew. Grounded out to second his first time up.
Behind the first base dugout in the upper deck, you can see the Drew Boo Crew holding up their sign. Very proud of themselves.
First and third, one out. And Drew looks at a ball. No Scott Rowland in the lineup tonight, so those boos directed at this man, J.D. Drew.
He's got big shoulders. He'll be able to handle it.
I think he's been enjoying this weekend, to be quite honest with you.
Friday night we had some great pictures when Scott Rowland was being booed. J.D. on the bench just smiling and laughing.
Cardinals with 2 hits today. 2 balls, no strikes on Drew. Edmonds on deck. 3-0 on J.D. It's been a while since we've seen him go deep. Four straight bases loaded. And Edmonds will be the hitter. Edmonds is 6th in slugging percentage. 0 for 1 today. 23 home runs on the year. His last home run was against Britt Reams.
Phillies in these situations have been terrible, only batting 180 with the bases loaded. On the other hand, the opponents are hitting 275.
A strike to Edmonds with Pujols on deck. Good chance here for the Cardinals. 5-1 winners yesterday. Shutout on Friday night.
Show you the Cardinals with a 272 average against right-handers. The reason it's so high is because of Jim Edmonds. He's batting 341.
Right. He's also one of the best road hitters as well. Bases loaded. 1 ball, 1 strike. Inning started with a base hit by Matheny. Wild pitch. He moved up to second. Morse sacrificed. Vini was hit. A walk to Drew, and now the bases are loaded against Vicente Padilla. 2 balls and 1 strike on Edmonds. Jim is sitting on 23 home runs. He's trying to make it 24.
Yeah, he had a good rip at that one right there. Foul it straight back.
Count is even. He is really slowed down.
If you're a pitcher, this is you don't want to run it full.
The 2-2. Strikeout number 2 on the day. And a big one there, and it's up to Albert Pujols.
Jim's had a tough series. Another strikeout. Just throws a fastball by him. You see that movement sliding away.
Albert with 3 grand slams in his career. Line drive into left field. Burrow makes the play and saves a couple of runs. No score. Pat Burrow with a good play in left. No score as we move to the bottom of the third. He saves a couple of runs off the bat of Albert Pujols. It's our Pizza Hut perfect delivery, and Burrow's sliding catch for out number 3 to end the top half of the third inning. Our Pizza Hut perfect delivery.
Risky play and gets away with it with a nice sliding catch.
He's not known for his defense, but for his bat, obviously.
Right. Does throw pretty well. Greg Lazinski play left field in this ballpark. Greg used to turn and face the left field foul line. He said, Greg, you got everything in front of you. Maddox had everything behind him.
And he was a great player in center.
Yep.
He was here today. Along with Mike Schmidt and Lazinski and Darren Dalton and John Kruk. Lenny Dykstra. A day in which these fans honor Harry Callis, Hall of Fame broadcaster, inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame this year. That's lifted into center field. Off the bat of Jimmy Rollins, and Edmonds has got it. There's Harry Callis. You also, many fans will, if you heard his voice, you would know it from NFL Films. He was the voice of NFL Films for a number of years.
That's his son Todd in the yellow shirt. Larry Anderson holding the cup, and his other son Brad, as I think all 3 of the boys are going to be in there. The lay is because Bill Giles, the chairman of the board, presented him with a trip to Hawaii. Bill Giles was working for the Houston Astros and came here. He was the business partner or business manager of the Phillies, and under the ownership of Ruly Carpenter, and brought Harry Callis from Houston.
Up in the zone to Bobby Abreu. Lined out to Vigna. His first time up, he's 0 for 1. 2-2. Morris is coming off a victory. Very efficient start last time out against Pittsburgh, a 9-5 win. That was the game the Cardinals were leading 9-1 heading into the 9th, but used 4 relievers in that 9th inning to get the victory. As Morris went 8 innings, gave up only 6 hits. Second time to Vigna. He looks it in the glove. 2 outs. 2 outs, nobody on, and that'll bring in Pat Burrell. Cardinals are 38-17 when Morris starts. Over the past 2 years. And the Redbirds have won 6 of their last 7 when Morris has been on the hill.
22 games last year, looking for his 15th victory this year.
Quickly 0-2. Going right at Burrell, just like Simon Tachi did yesterday. Struck him out a couple of times. Barehanded by Renteria, and he gets Burrell. Good play. We played 3, and there's no score from the vet. This portion of Cardinal Baseball on WB11 is brought to you by Steak and Shake, famous for steak burgers. By your St. Louis area Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. And by Bank of America, we find financial solutions that fit you.
Morris came off the field had a conversation with the home plate umpire, and I'm sure he's just telling him that, hey, you know, you're taking the inside part of the plate away from me. Now I've got to pitch inside. I've got to do this, got to do that. There was one pitch that might have been, you know, he didn't get the call, but you don't have this kind of conversation and plead your case of like, hey, now look at, now I'm still got to pitch inside, but it's no intent to hit anybody. It's just trying to get people out.
Right.
And I'm sure John Hirschbeck basically said, look, just because I warn people, I'm going to still make a judgment on it. So do what you got to do.
And if you're just joining us, Fernando Vina was hit by a pitch, and both benches were warned. Padilla hit Vina as the Cardinals loaded up the bases in the third inning, but couldn't cash in. There's no score here in the fourth, and here's Tino Martinez. They've broken his bat. He's jammed. Marlon Anderson a play. Anderson kind of odd there at second. Always just flipped the ball instead of just throwing it.
Yeah, it seems like gets you in a little trouble. He's made 14 errors on the year. Pretty high number, but it looks like a lot of that way he throws and flips it, kind of sidearm, that's get a lot of throwing errors that way.
Renteria struck out his first time up as Padilla drops down, and Edgar was fooled a bit. Kerry Robinson on deck. Cardinals have just 2 hits. The Phillies 4 against Morris in the first 2 innings.
And I understand a lot of rain in St. Louis. As I look at Cincinnati, they're in a rain delay, as well as Pittsburgh. And we got heat. It's rain and perspiration here.
Well over 100 degrees on the field here at the Vet. A ball and 2 strikes on the Cardinals shortstop. Pittsburgh will be in St. Louis tomorrow. Andy Bennis against Kip Wells. Houston has gotten the services of Carlos Hernandez back in their rotation. Scarloose and Oswalt and Millers. Very, very good pitching. Good battle here between these two. Of course, Julio Lugo now is out. Hit on the arm and broke his arm on a pitch from Kerry Wood this past week in Chicago. So their shortstop may be done for the year.
Renteria in a little first slump he's had since the All-Star break. 0 for his last 9, but still batting .361 since the All-Star break. Now 0 for 10.
Third strikeout for Padilla. Hey, Cardinals fans, on Saturday, August 24th, the Cardinals play the Phillies. Next weekend, it's Singular Wireless Pin Night. The first 30,000 fans with a paid admission receive a collector's pin highlighting Jim Edmonds and Fernando Vina's 2001 Gold Glove seasons. It's courtesy of Singular Wireless. Again, Pin Night next week. You're watching the Cardinals on WB11, KPLR TV St. Louis, and the Cardinals Television Network. 2 out, nobody on. Here's Kerry Robinson. Line to right his first time up. Kerry's had a good road trip in the fact that he's been a very valuable pinch hitter for Tony La Russa. Foul ground, long way to go for Polanco, out of room.
Right, Kerry was 3 for 3 in Pittsburgh as a pinch hitter. He's batting .288 against right-handers.
On 1 and 2, Robinson fouls it back.
The pitch is up, but they're just high enough to where the guys aren't being able to put the ball in play.
Well, including the 2 hits here today, this Philadelphia pitching staff has done a pretty nice job. Just 15 hits allowed against the Cardinals, and Padilla gets his 2nd strikeout of the inning and his 4th of the day. No score from Philadelphia. This day in baseball history, August 18th, 1994. Our guys dug that one up. Absolutely nothing happened. 230 plus days. Baseball was shut down with that strike. A lot was lost there in 94. Of course, the World Series postseason play. Tony Gwynn was going after 400 when 60 home runs really meant something.
That wasn't
Matt
Bagwell.
Williams.
Or Matt Williams?
Yeah.
Had 49 or something like that. I thought Bagwell was right around there too.
He was coming on, but Williams had the better of the two at that time, at least percentage wise, with games left and where he was at.
Well, we can only just hope.
Yep.
That those signs are correct. Nobody wins.
There's Mike Lieberthal. You just get the feeling that it's going to come down to those final couple of days prior to the break.
Well, it always
or
does.
The strike. And the Cardinals would be the first team affected by it, along with Chicago. It's a day game on that Friday.
Yeah.
One and one the count on Lieberthal. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you have a gut feeling one way or another?
I've been saying all along that reasonable men can come to a reasonable outcome.
Well, tomorrow's the Cards and Pirates. Tino Martinez, AMC Action Photo Day. All paid fans 15 and under receive that AMC Action photo of Cardinals first baseman Tino Martinez. Cards and Pirates tomorrow at Busch.
You know, what I don't really understand is Players Association has accepted, you know, whether they like it or not, they've accepted that there needs to be revenue sharing. So, and they've done that in the past, and they need to come together on a middle point. And they also the luxury tax, or as I like to think of it, the competitive balance tax,
which is truly what it is.
You know, they've agreed in principle to that. You know, because they've said, okay, we'll start at 137 million, which I guess only would affect the Yankees. So I mean, as long as they're willing to accept it, you just come to a middle ground on these things.
Well, one positive is the fact that they are talking, which in '94 they weren't even talking at this point.
Yeah, and I don't totally buy the players saying that this is their only recourse, that they have to go on strike because afraid the owners would declare an impasse and implement a new system, because that's baseball tried to do that in '94, and they filed a grievance with the Labor Relations Board, and the board agreed with the players and said, hey, they didn't negotiate in good faith, so go back to the table. And then once they did that, they solved the strike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe the owners didn't like what the outcome was, but I mean, if
Renteria, tough play, safe at first. He's Polanco, and he's 1 for 2 on the afternoon. Tough chance here for Edgar.
A very good play, and of course you can do it. See how bouncy that is, but on the turf you can do these plays, and it's worth the risk. Of course, we know Polanco's always going to hustle, so you know that more times than not he'll beat that out. Somebody else might have been coasting down there, and that play would have gotten him, but not Polanco.
Hitter will be Marlon Anderson. That base hit snaps a string of 6 straight set down by Morse.
And Marlon Anderson got a similar type infield hit.
Runner is going, and it's popped up on pitch number 51 of the afternoon. Renteria makes the play. Battling Polanco as the runner, and also the son will head to the fifth. No score. Well, Tony La Russa was saying prior to today's game he doesn't feel that there will be a strike. He's optimistic that that won't be the case as we move to the top of the fifth. 7 hits in this ball game, 5 by the Phillies. And what's your perspective, being a former player that's been through stoppages and seeing these kind of things happen? And a lot of the modern day, current day players will say that, well, we have to do this because the players before us struck and we can't give in.
Yeah, which was really interesting is because most of the current players never knew any of us. They don't know anything about what we did for them and why they're getting what they're getting. But I think when you talk to most players, they will say that the pendulum used to be too much in the owner's favor. Now it's gone too much in the player's favor. It's got to come back a little bit. And I think what probably the overriding thought from all ex-players is that, hey guys, you're the guardians of this great game, and it's up to you to keep it going, not to shut it down. And I will say that the things that we struck over have no bearing on today. I mean, it was pension, it was free agency, it was, you know, it wasn't that, well, we can't give anything back.
1-2 the count on Mike Matheny.
And as I said, I think the players are willing to do certain things. And that's why I really do believe that, you know, there will be a settlement. But until it happens, I think you keep on getting a lot of damage to the game.
Tap foul and out of play. Padilla struck out 4 today.
If this wasn't the double bobblehead, and also this weekend they brought back a lot of the former players and for some charity events, I don't think you would have this larger crowd here.
Been averaging about 20,000 a game.
And it almost seems like a lot of them have left.
Yep. 1-2 on Mike Matheny. He rips it left side. Rollins deep in the hole. Throws. Picked by Lee at first, and they get him.
So you got to know the foot speed of the batter. Some guys might have put that in their pocket, but with Mike Matheny running hard but just not getting any place, it was worth the gamble and a good pick at the other end. Mike Matheny can't believe it.
Here's Morris, and he pulls it foul. Larry Bowa has talked time and again about Burrell and Jimmy Rollins being the cornerstones of this franchise now with Rowland gone. Of course, Larry Bowa, 5-time All-Star, feisty player and a feisty manager.
They're going to be moving into their new ballpark 2 years, so they lock up some of the young pitching, try and add some pitching. But Lieberthal is still relatively young also.
One of the loudest ovations for all those great players that were introduced was Larry Bowa. These fans appreciate him. They like him.
Well, he was brought here to add some of that feistiness and fiery attitude. You know, I mean, he doesn't do anything to conceal his emotions in that dugout. That's the way he played too.
He's been a resident of the Philadelphia area since 1976. He still calls his home.
And Larry Bowa made himself a pretty good hitter. Billy DeMars was the hitting coach back then. And Billy DeMars would tell you about 1 or 2 couches that he absolutely destroyed in his basement. You know, just swinging a bat, just swinging it back and forth, and just trying to learn how to come up with a stroke, how to hit down on the ball.
Morris is tied up and a strikeout. That's number 5 for Padilla.
who the choreographic person is for the Wolf Pack and also Padilla's flotilla.
Vina hit by the pitch. One ball, one strike on Fernando Vina.
See if we can read what it says. They used to, use an eye black type thing, but now these are stickers they put there to keep the glare. Can you read what it says?
I cannot. Now Vina has a word. Sporting Goods Company, it looks like.
Well, I tell you what, that's a marketing person there.
He's on to something, I think.
John Hirschbeck is the president of the New World Umpiring Association.
Vina drills it into right, but right at Abreu. Cardinals have just 2 hits, and there's no score. This portion of Cardinal baseball on WB11 is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By Geico Direct, the sensible alternative. And by MasterCard. Go to MLB.com to vote for memorable moments presented by MasterCard. Hot day here in Philly. No score between the Cards and the Philadelphia Phillies from the vet. We welcome you back. Bottom of the 5th coming up. Padilla, then the top of the order, and Ricky Leday and Jimmy Rollins. Tonight it's a full 3 hours of laughs with the WB Sunday night lineup at 6. It's back-to-back episodes of For Your Love, followed by Charmed and Angel tonight, only here on the WB. Padilla struck out when he had first and second, and 1 out and tried to move the runners up, and he couldn't do so. His first plate appearance back in the 2nd. Morris with just 2 strikeouts on the night. Matt only had 2 strikeouts in 8 innings the other night.
Yeah, but I think he realized that he was much better without getting those strikeouts.
Pitch count stayed within reason. And with the Cardinals up 9-1, he was lifted. 2-1. Two and 2 the count. Big breaking ball and a swing and a miss for strikeout number 3. And it brings in Ricky Leday. Top spot in the order for the Phillies. Now, we're talking before how he was signed as a 16-year-old by the Yankees. Another one of those young phenoms that they signed was Alfonso Soriano, a second baseman that's now part of the 30-30 club.
I think he's paid off, hasn't he?
Oh. But that's one of the unfair advantages that the Yankees have, is that they can go out, take chances on kids in the Dominican and other places, overpay for them, outspend and maybe for 10 players, and one of the 10 turns out to be an Alfonso Soriano.
See, and that's one of the things that they're trying to correct with the World Draft, because currently, you just draft kids from North America, Puerto Rico, but anybody from Dominican, Venezuela, Nicaragua, you know, Colombia, like Nicaragua for Padilla, Colombia for Renteria, guys like that, Cubans, they all fall on as free agents. The Pirates used to go just load up a little wagon and just sign all these kids at $500 and get as many as they possibly could, and then, you know, as you say, the percentages, you're going to have so many that are going to pan out. But then it's gotten expensive now to sign even those kids.
Rollins, a fly ball into left. Robinson with the shades down makes the play, and we're through 5 now at Veterans Stadium, and there's no score. It's a grand slam. Ford Taurus, $3,000 cash back or 0% APR financing for 60 months to qualified buyers. Ford and your quality Ford stores. Your home run to summer fun. Fanatic having some fun here at the Vet as we welcome you back. Top of the 6th on a hot day here in Philadelphia. We turn to our NL Central standings, brought to you by Dodge. The Cardinals at 67 and 53. Lead the Astros by 4. 5.5 games out are the Reds. Pirates 15.5 back. Cubs 16.5 out. Brewers 25. Now you hear the boos. That must mean J.D. Drew stepping in.
Oh, there's Drew in. They're Drew in there. Somebody in Philadelphia would boo.
Oh, that's off the umpire's foot. John Hirsch back there.
They still got steel toes. Watch this ball. Right on the toe.
And now Barry Weinberg was making his way out from the dugout. The Cardinal trainer and the Philadelphia trainer makes his way out. No one was checking on him for a good minute or two.
Edmonds, I'm sure, will go over there and make him feel much better. Hey, you know that pitch you called on me in the 2nd inning?
That's right.
Well, do something.
He's all right, and the count is 1-0 on J.D.
Brother Mark is also an umpire, big league level.
J.D.'s first time here to the Vet was 1999. It's the night that the batteries came flying out.
It's one of the signs Friday night. There's a bed sheet up there. It said free batteries.
And J.D. also answered with a home run. And he had a triple as well in that series. Ground ball up the middle, base hit for J.D. Drew. Second time he's been on. Let's see if they get to Padilla here. Yeah. It's a nice easy swing here by J.D.
Ball running away from him, and he's just been rolling over on a lot of balls, and that one he went right up the middle with it. Pitch away, been rolling over. You just hit a little weak ground ball to the right side. See if Edmonds doesn't drive a ball out to left center.
J.D. is off and running, and the pitch is fouled back. trying to get something going here against Padilla.
Yeah, you got to get something going. Cardinals, they have 3 hits now. 16 for the 3 games. Came in with a 197 batting average in this series.
Pujols is on deck, and the pitch is strike to Edmonds on the outside corner. Jim struck out his last time up, also grounded out to first. He's 0 for 2.
Jim has had some pitches to get hacks at, but it's almost like a little bit off in his swing. You know, his uppercutting a little bit. It's like he's a little tired. His arm's a little tired.
Last time he was up, bases were loaded. He had a pitch to drive. He was ahead in the count with 2 balls and a strike. And fouled it straight back, and then eventually struck out as Padilla got out of the inning. Edmonds hits it towards Lee, and it's an error. Drew is going to dig and make it to third base. Travis Lee is 4th error. He just came up a little early. He was going to try to start that double play, and now the Cardinals have a chance to grab the lead.
You're right. Hug the ground on this turf here. Perfect double play because it hits sharply on the turf. It gets to you quick enough, comes up, and you see right there is taking the crow hop, getting ready to throw. He just forgot to catch the ball.
And Larry Bow has been talking about Travis Lee possibly winning the Gold Glove.
I'll take it, Tino Martinez.
Here's Pujols. He ended that inning when the Cardinals had the bases loaded, when he lined out to left and a sliding catch by Pat Burrell. This is the guy you want at the plate. Prior to Albert Pujols, who was the last Cardinal named a Rookie of the Year. Our Suntrip Automotive Family Trivia question. Base hit into right, and the Cardinals have the lead. RBI for Albert Pujols, number 93 on the season. And it's 1-0 St. Louis. Well, again, Albert Pujols was the Rookie of the Year last year, named the last Cardinal. Of course, Todd Worrell in 1986.
Remember Todd? Cardinals don't win the National League pennant in 85 without Todd. There you see good slicing drive to right field. Ball out away from him and hit it hard that way. Vern Rule, the pitching coach, out to talk with his starter and infield.
Albert came in 3rd in RBIs with 92, 8th in home runs in the National League. You take Albert out of the National League last year, and Jimmy Rollins is probably the Rookie of the Year and the shortstop for the Phillies. Here's Tino Martinez. Still nobody out.
You know, Scott Rowland had kind of a similar thing. He got hurt, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of '96, which, you know, he batted 130 times, and I think 131 or something disqualifies you, takes you out of the rookie for the following year. He got hurt and only batted 130 times, and so he was eligible in '97 when he became a unanimous selection as Rookie of the Year.
Pujols at first, Edmonds at second. Tino Martinez, ground ball right side. That's a base hit. Edmonds will be stopped at third, so the bases will be loaded for Edgar Renteria. 4 men have reached base in this inning, 3 base hits, and the other reaching on an error. Renteria has not had success though today. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of Ks.
Well, maybe it's time for him to turn things around. Nice to see Tino swinging the bat. Had a 9-game hitting streak stopped Friday night. Since that time, he's hit yesterday and today. 222 average. No grand slams for Edgar. Edgar 0 for his last 10.
The first pitch to him is a ball. Tino Martinez with 2 hits today. The Cardinals have 5. Trying to get it Padilla here.
Edgar batting .345 with runners in scoring position.
Bases loaded. Renteria, high fly ball, right field. Abreu back, gone! Grand slam, his first career grand slam to the opposite field. And they busted open against Padilla. Grand slam for Edgar Renteria.
But also look at the discipline, still going to the opposite field, trying to drive the ball, not looking for the home run, and yet he's strong enough to hit it to the opposite field. 61 RBIs now as he hits his first career grand slam. Ball out away from him, just a stroke where he's trying to get the fly ball, and he does a little bit better clearing the bases.
Here's Kerry Robinson, pulls it right side. Tough play for Anderson. The flip, and they get the speedy Robinson. And that's the first out in this inning. It all started with J.D. Drew and a base hit up the middle. Edmonds reached on an air. Pujols an RBI base hit. Tino Martinez his second hit, and then the home run by Renteria, and the reaction as the Cardinals go up 5-0.
That's how you break an 0 for 10 streak. Matt Morris pitching well in this game, but very hot. Real Cormier, the former Cardinal, is throwing in the Phillies bullpen.
The Redbirds have done this against the National League leader in home ERA, Vicente Padilla. Matheny has seen his average rise to .240. And he shoots this one into right center field. Ricky Leday shading from the sun. He's got it. 2 down, and that'll bring in Matt Morris.
So back to Renteria. Mentioned he's trying to, very least, trying to get that fly ball and drive in an insurance run. He's strong enough, and that keeps on going the opposite field, keeps you staying on the ball and drives it out.
2 down, nobody on, and here's Morris.
Renteria batting over .310, 9 home runs, 61 RBIs. It's more than Tino Martinez. That is only 5 away from tying Edmonds.
You feel pretty good with Matt Morris going the way that he's been throwing as of late and here today.
And a rested Jason Isringhausen.
Right. Two balls and 2 strikes. Rain delay between Cincinnati and Houston. Reds up 1-0. That's early on in that ball game. Padilla's strikeout number 6, second time he has gotten Morris, but the Cardinals grab the lead, and Renteria picks up his first career grand slam. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Baseball is a production of Bud Sports and an exclusive presentation of Fox Sports Net. Marty and the gang and our Bud Sports crew, Tom Mee, Lindsey Polite, Doug Stanton, and Kent Samuel. Well, Morris now with a 5-run lead. It's 5-0 Cardinals here in the 6th. 3, 4, and 5 in the order for the Phillies due up.
One of the secrets of pitching is to continue to pitch the way you have been. Don't think about those 5 runs. Just think you're in a tie ball game.
Here's Bobby Abreu to lead things off. He's lined out and grounded out. tailing in fastball to those lefties, and it catches the inside corner for a strike. Abreu was 30-30 last year. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He, along with Vladimir Guerrero, the only two to do it last year.
Oh, injured is Vladimir. Hurt his shoulder the other day.
I didn't see that it was that serious. He's the best kept secret in the major leagues. 2 balls and a strike on Abreu. Pops it foul. Abreu bounced around earlier in his career. He was signed as a free agent by the Astros, spent 2 years with Houston, and he was part of the expansion draft. Tampa Bay took him, but when he arrived in Philadelphia, that's when his career really turned around. A line out to Tino Martinez, and there's one away.
Remember, he was traded for Kevin Stocker.
Right.
Light hitting. Shortstop. I think a lot of people were shocked that Abreu was left unprotected by Houston.
Here's Pat Burrell, former #1 overall pick. Big bender there from Matt Morris, who's wasted no time with Burrow. He's gone right after him in both at bats, and does so here. It's 0-2.
Trying to slow down Matt a little bit because Matt's in that real quick mode.
A strikeout of Burrell on a breaking ball. Caught him looking. Perfect pitch. And the 4th strikeout of the day for Matty Moe.
Matt's having a little fun out there now. There's that breaking ball. And like the last time out, you know, a lot of fastballs, changeups early in the game. Then second, third time, show them a little different. Come out with that breaking ball, and you see how it freezes them. Be a changeup.
And Lieberthal, the hitter, fouls it into the seats. They've had some first rounders and high draft picks for Philadelphia. Of course, J.D. Drew and Scott Roman was a 2nd round pick. Lieberthal was the 3rd overall pick back in 1990. Burrell, a 1st round pick.
You know, a lot of times people criticize the Cardinals. Say, well, they haven't developed more position players, or you haven't done this, you haven't done that. But, you know, when you're always winning and always in contention, you don't have that luxury of getting one of those top picks in the country. And I think the Cardinals have done a phenomenal job because they've used their young minor league players to go out and acquire big league talent, keep you in contention every year.
I think you would agree with me. Anytime you can go out and get yourself an established major leaguer that's going to help you, and you do it for prospects, I mean, more times than not, it seems like the prospects don't pan out to what people project. You agree?
Absolutely. I mean, there's only so many Albert Pujols. There's so many Scott Rowlands, or even a Matt Morris, you know, guys like that. But more times than not, you're a guy that you see as a pretty good player in the minor leagues, and then you find out he's just a utility guy, or he's not an impact type player.
And if you have a chance to go out and get yourself an established veteran, you do it.
Well, think about Houston this year. They opened the season, and what did most people say? It's very difficult to win with a rookie third baseman and shortstop.
Right.
And both of them failed, you know, the first time around.
Morgan Ensberg was the 3rd baseman. Adam Everett at short.
Yeah. And even though they're in the middle of this pennant race because of their young pitching, you know, you don't know. And Larry Bowa was making a point too. He said, you know, he goes, they're going to expend a lot of energy trying to get to, you know, in contention with the Cardinals. And other people say, hey, they haven't been tested yet. The pressure of the pennant race.
Off the glove of Tino Martinez.
Base hit, I think. Yep.
So base hit for Mike Lieberthal. He's 1 for 3, and it brings in Travis Lee.
Third infield hit. And off the glove of Tino. Tried to backhand it there.
Well, Morris has had a string of 7 straight snapped, and that one snapped a string of 6 straight. Travis Lee, a high fly ball, gets underneath it. Edmonds wants it, has it. Phillies strand another, and they have left 6 on the day. Top of the order coming up as we move towards the 7th. Today's merchandise prize winner is Alexander Walker in the Hyundai long drive inning sweepstakes. If the Cardinals hit a home run here in the 7th, Alexander Walker will qualify for the grand prize drawing. To register, visit a St. Louis area Hyundai dealer to complete an entry form. Fernando Vina will be the leadoff man for St. Louis. Real Cormier, new pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, appearing for the 47th time out of the bullpen for Philadelphia. And Larry Boa. So Real Cormier is into the game for the Phillies here in the 7th. Vina, Drew, and Edmonds coming up, so the lefty is brought in. Edgar Renteria with the big blow in this game, a grand slam. And it's 5-0. Vina has been hit by a pitch back in the 3rd. Flied out to right and also lined out. So Padilla goes 6 innings. Gives up 5 runs on 6 hits. 4 of those were earned. There was an error by Travis Lee that cost him. 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. Vina the hitter to start things here in the 7th. Houston and Cincinnati still in a rain delay. Vina trying to bunt his way on. His on base percentage has been heading the wrong way. Hitting .267 on the year. I invite you to come on down to Busch this week. None of the games against the Pirates will be televised, so head on down to Busch Stadium. Big sweeping breaking ball, and Vina spun away from it. 1 ball, 1 strike. .35-year-old left-hander Real Cormier out of New Brunswick, Canada. Signed as a free agent back in 2000. Last year was his first year with the Phillies. As Vina taps it and Cormier slips down. He might be hurt. So Vina reaches for the 2nd time here today, and Cormier is finally up. It's the one thing about this new turf they've talked about, Al, is the fact that it is very slick and slippery on plays like this.
Lucky he didn't hurt his ankle. How old did you say he is now?
35.
35. Man, I remember when he was a little pup coming up with the Cardinals.
Back in 1991, he was with the Cardinals. Boston, Montreal, and now the Phillies after St. Louis. 13-year pro.
His wife, Lucienne.
Here's J.D. Drew. Got things started in that 5-run inning. In the 6th with a base hit. And scored the first run of the day. So the Cardinals knock out Vicente Padilla. Cormier, the second pitcher used. That's out of play. Ball and 2 strikes. Andy Bennis will throw tomorrow night in St. Louis against Kip Wells. Luther Hackman against Chris Benson on Tuesday. Chuck Finley, Josh Fogg will hook up on Wednesday. And then Jason Simon-Tachi will look to pick up his 10th win on the year against Brian Meadows. Where would this Cardinals team be without Jason Simon-Tachi?
Don't even think about it.
Yep. Now a ball has made its way onto the playing surface. That foul ball hit by J.D. Drew. And fans the other night were encouraging the fan that would pick up that foul ball, whether it be off the bat of Rolen or Drew, to throw it back on the playing surface, and they've done so here.
They threw one yesterday and almost hit the Phillies pitcher.
I don't know if you knew this, Al, but they actually booed Santa Claus here.
Brian Burwell, our new columnist in St. Louis for the Post-Dispatch, even got ripped by one of the columnists here.
Larry Conlon, wasn't it?
Bill Conlon.
Bill Conlon, that's right.
And he even said for Brian, he said that was way back when, and it was a scrawny. It was a scrawny Santa.
Scrawny
Claus.
Santa.
Yeah, they threw snowballs at him and booed him because he wasn't up to Philly standards. He didn't have enough cheesesteaks.
Well, the fans like that. A strikeout of Drew for out number 1. And it brings in Edmonds, who reached on an error and scored on the grand slam by Renteria in the 6th inning. We had a crowd of well over 50,000, but I think you're right. A lot of that crowd left after but 2 innings. First pitch to Jimmy. Fastball strike.
By the way, I finished 3rd in the vert yesterday on a skateboard, you know, at the X Games.
You're a big fan of that, aren't you?
Oh, I've been doing it for years.
Freestyle.
Yeah, you see my pass, my celebrity pass there. Competitor. Yeah. Of course, Edmund knows some of the motorcyclists. We've got a couple crazy wacko friends that do that stuff. Mike James used to do it himself.
Where is Mike now?
I don't know. On the beach someplace.
Started with
Surfing.
Colorado.
Yep.
This year.
I think he was let go by them. And I'm not sure if anybody's picked him up.
Cardinals had a little interest.
Yeah, very little.
There was just some interest.
They were trying to be talked into having more, but
didn't happen.
Not enough.
Strikeout of Edmonds. He struck out a bunch in this series. 6 times. Bat looks a little heavy, doesn't it?
Yeah. You go through little stages where you get a little tired, and pitches that normally you crush, your timing's a little off. Everything's a little heavy, and you're dipping underneath them. You pop them up or swing through them.
Pujols with an RBI base hit. First RBI of the day. Through the right side. Moving up on the play, it's Vina.
Good alert base running there.
Sometimes that's the hardest one right there for a base runner. Wild pitch charge to, or rather to Cormier.
Part of it is you have to have that secondary lead. You get your first lead, then you get your secondary lead is your moving towards second as the pitch is being delivered. Now they're going to intentionally pass. And then when you see that ball, the separation between the catcher's glove and the ball, the separation there, you take off and you're already more than a third of the way there.
Tino Martinez will be the hitter after this intentional pass of Albert Pujols. Make any sense of that there, Al?
Well, if I make sense of it, it doesn't mean anybody else will understand it. But yeah.
That's the 11th intentional pass handed to Albert Pujols, and he's tied with Edmonds in that department. Here's Tino Martinez, 2 hits on the day. Big sweeping breaking ball from Cormier. He read my mind. Cormier's best year was in '92 with the Cardinals. He was 10-10.
Got over 10, nearly 11 years of big league time after this year. These two have had to face each other in the past.
Originally selected by the Cardinals in the 6th round in the 90, or rather 88. Cormier was with Boston in 1995.
I know the Cardinals would had some interest in acquiring like Plesac. He was free agent at the end of the year. They resisted trading him.
And he's also said this will be his final year. He's 40 years of age.
I just wonder if you look at the way Cormier has gotten rid of 2 strikeouts of Edmonds and Drew, and now he's got position right there. There's Plesac, a left-hander that can always use another one down the stretch.
You're watching the Cardinals on WB11, KPLR TV St. Louis, and the Cardinals Television Network. And Plesac came from Toronto, and the Phillies gave up Cliff Polite, who is now the setup man for the Blue Jays and having a nice year.
That's good. Cliff is a good guy and happy that he's getting that chance. You know, sometimes, you know, make that change. And 58,493, largest crowd of the year.
Here's a 3-2, a check swing by Tino Martinez, did not go around. So they intentionally passed Pujols, and now the walk to Tino Martinez, and it brings in Renteria. So the base is loaded again here for Renteria.
I think Larry's about time he's going to show some of that emotion. He's getting close, isn't he?
6th inning will take you back. And Renteria with a grand slam, his first career grand slam. Now the base is loaded, 2 down. It's already 5-0. Edgar pulls it foul. Nice play made there by Jose Oquendo. He's got those great hands, Jose Oquendo.
Oh yeah. Watch him go over here. Whoop.
No balls, 1 strike on the Cardinals shortstop. Cormier takes his time. Now he's set, and here we go.
I just wonder when Jose's managing in Puerto Rico, how many times he puts himself in the lineup.
Think he'll do that? Why not?
I think part of Part of his heart would say, hey, let me do it one more time. His body may say no.
Ball and 2 strikes.
1-0 game when he hit the grand slam. Leading 61 RBIs. Keep it going.
Swing and a drive into left field. Burrow back at the wall, and he's got it. Renteria gave it a ride. Almost got out of here. Cardinal fans, if you would like to win Cardinals tickets and participate in the Southwest Airlines Family of the Game promotion during a Cardinals home game, here's your chance. Send your name, address, and phone number to Southwest Airlines Family of the Game, P.O. Box 771192, St. Louis, Missouri 63177. Good luck from Southwest Airlines. Matt Morris back to the hill. He's been all smiles along with his teammates here today. It's 5-0 Redbirds. I thought Renteria caught it.
You were hoping. We all were hoping.
Take you back to his last at bat in our Geico moment. Just missed his second grand slam as Burrell got it at the wall.
Not quite like Tatis.
No.
Hitting 2 grand slams in 1 inning off the same pitcher.
Jano Park, right?
Yep. And almost came up a 3rd time. If he would have, bases would have been loaded a 3rd time in the same inning.
What a bust Jano Park has been for Texas this year. $65 million, and it's been on the disabled list twice. Chopped towards 3rd. Pujols over to Tino Martinez. Well, if you're just joining us, Scott Rowland is not in the lineup. Day off for him, and Pujols is at 3rd, and Robinson is in left.
Aggravated his shoulder a little bit. Nothing serious, but plays virtually every day, so give him a little bit of a breather, and he'll be ready for tomorrow night. Come home against the Pirates. And then next weekend will be the Phillies in town. So that's, hopefully we can add to this. You know, the Cincinnati and Houston, their series continues tomorrow, and with the rain, still having a rain delay, they may play a doubleheader.
Little check swing, and Morris has got it, and Marlon Anderson was looking back towards the umpire.
He was hoping
he'd
get a second shot. Look at that ball. It was like a knuckleball. Didn't look like there was any rotation at all.
There's Doug Glanville. He'll be the pinch hitter. As you well know, Al, we've got Cardinal fans everywhere in Mary Compton, a mail carrier in Minnesota. Let's just say hi to all her family and friends back home in St. Peters. Jane and Tom, and especially misses her friend Doug. On 0-2. Benia bare hands, but not in time.
That would have been nifty, huh?
Wow.
How about that? The last 4 Phillies hits have all been infield hits. Look at this. Bare hands it. Couldn't get much on the throw. And Tino did the right thing by coming off the bag. Don't let that ball get away from you. And put him in scoring position. Need another 2 outs. Matt wants this one.
Ricky Leday is the hitter. Pitch count for Morris here today.
86, but
look at the ratio there. Only 24 balls.
Two and a half to 1 in that range. But very warm day. Went 8 innings last time. 98 pitches.
One ball, one strike. Leday today. He's 1 for 3.
Say that 10 times in a row.
Leday today.
2.
I'm done. There's a drive into right field. Drew is back on the track, and he's got it. Morris has been efficient today. 5-0 Cardinals. This portion of Cardinal baseball on WB11 is brought to you by your local St. Louis area Kia dealers. It's about time everyone had a well-made car. By Auto Tire. For the very best in tires and service, you ought to go to Auto Tire. And by Subway. Come in today and let Subway show you how good a fresh made sandwich can be. Subway, eat fresh. Well, there's a good look at Mike Timlin. Now pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Where's our blimp shot of Timlin?
Normally we do have a blimp shot of Mike Timlin.
Yeah.
You're right.
You see the overall numbers for Mike since coming over here in the Rowan trade. This is his 10th game. He's 3-1 with a 4.50 ERA, and the home run bug is continued here.
4 home runs in his 9 games. He actually gave up 4 home runs in the first 6 appearances for the Phillies, so he's appearing for the 10th time in this uniform. See home runs allowed, most in the National League in relief. Giovanni Carrera and also Scott Sullivan with 13, along with Mike Timlin. He gave up 9 in his 42 games with the Cardinals. Home field advantage goes to the family arriving at the game in their Ford Windstar, now with $3,500 cash back or 0% APR financing. Ford in your quality Ford stores. Your home run to summer fun. So Timlin is into the ball game. Kerry Robinson will be the leadoff man. There's about as close as we're going to get to that blimp shot there, Al. Good look at Mike Timlin right there.
Good looking man.
Yep. Wait a minute, that's Rich's line.
Yeah, that's Rich's line. I know. I'm just trying to say hello to Rich.
Okay. He'll be with us next week. Games against the Phillies will be on WB11. Friday night, though, on Fox Sports Net.
It's Saturday night and Sunday, right?
Right. Robinson, Matheny, and then Matt Morris. Four home runs in 10 innings with the Phillies. Mike gave up a couple of very costly home runs for the Cardinals. One was against Raul Ibanez. The Kansas City Royals that won a game for Kansas City, and most recently against San Francisco. He was not all that pleased about being treated, or rather traded away from St. Louis. A line out to Polanco.
What does that tell you? You know, guys that get traded away from St. Louis don't like to leave, and guys that come say it's baseball heaven.
Here's Matheny.
And the Cardinals also got a young reliever, Nichols, in that deal. He could be a player.
Well, they feel that he's got major league ability. and eventually will be with the club. Gene Steckschulte has been shut down. That's a guy the Cardinals were hoping would help them out down the stretch. Matheny to Polanco, backs up. He'll use the turf. 2 outs.
Doug Nickel, 6'4", 230. Hey, we like him already. It's from Sonoma. Must be off the charts. Last year at AAA, Nickel was 9-3 with a 1.68 ERA, 47 games with 7 saves. Always nice when you're a starting pitcher and you're batting for the 4th time.
Moore's with a sacrifice and 2 strikeouts today.
Matty, today you're a pitcher. Don't even worry about getting on base. Got one of Sam's bats. He didn't see that when he heard it. Mike Schmidt was talking about that, you know, with these bats that are, you know, the balls are harder, seams are tighter, and now they're using these maple bats that are harder wood, and in some cases a special finish on them. Seems like it even hardens them up more.
Almost like a gloss finish. On 1-2. Morris takes the ball.
Well, guys like Schmidt and everybody, all they used was white ash.
Morris into center, and Leday has it. Will move to the bottom of the 8th. Morris is tossing a shutout. It's 5-0. 5-0 Cardinals, bottom of the 8th. Jimmy Rollins, Bobby Abreu, and Pat Burrell for the Phillies. Boy, Morris has just pitched fantastic here today. His last time out, 8 innings against Pittsburgh. And the pitch count has stayed fairly low. It's approaching 90, if not already in the low 90s. Our next telecast will be against these Philadelphia Phillies at Busch Stadium, 6:30 with Cardinals tonight on Fox Sports Net. That'll be on Friday night.
Well, usually the pitches on Sunday, pitches Friday.
Yep, that'll be Matt Morris. Simon Tachi will go on Thursday.
We'll take that one, won't we?
Yeah. So it could
You
be
know
a
what they're
rematch.
discussing right now? How do we tell Matt we only want to go 8 innings? And if you remember, in Pittsburgh, after he pitched 8 innings, it was a 5-1 game, and Tony asked, he said, well, how do you feel? And he goes, you can do whatever you want. But Matt told me, he said, if they would have had a shutout, he would have wanted to try and get the complete game. But since he had given up 1 run, he agreed and thought it would be best if he wanted to use a bullpen guy or something like that to go ahead and do it. Very, very warm day.
One ball, 1 strike. Rollins, a switch hitting shortstop, is 0 for 3. In the hole here with a ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals will see the Pirates tomorrow. Andy Bennis against Kip Wells. Morris will throw on Friday. Bennis, Hackman, Finley, and Simon Tachi for the Cardinals against Pittsburgh starting tomorrow night. And a strikeout of Jimmy Rollins. Number 5 on the day for Matt Morris.
Watch this tailing action right back. The inside part of the plate. Good pitch. Lefties give up on that one.
It's a pitch that Maddox, against those lefties, has more action than anybody probably.
Yeah, but when you're throwing at about 8 miles an hour,
You got it.
velocity, and you still get that movement. That's a tough pitch to hit.
Yep. Here's Bobby Abreu. He's lined out a couple of times and grounded out. 0 for 3 on the day. From Venezuela. First 30-30 man from that country. Only 25 players have done it in Major League history. Well, 26 now with Soriano.
And one time that was a very, very select group.
Soriano probably has a legitimate shot now at 40-40 if the season plays out. High fly ball, center field. Edmonds looking up. That ball is gone. Just snuck over the wall. And the shutout is gone, and the Phillies are on the board. It's 5-1.
Well, Matt doesn't give up a lot of home runs. That's the 13th one, but he's really slowed down. He's allowed just 3 previous home runs to this one in his last 13+ games. And this is only his 4th home run in his past 11 starts. Made him earn it, hitting it over the center field wall.
Now you figure that with that run that he gave up, you don't really have to convince him about that 9th inning.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then I think he can go back and he'll say, okay, whatever you want to do, Skip.
We reached back on that last fastball. You can see he's agitated and upset. That was 95. This one 96 to Pat Burrell.
He's really gone after Burrell.
Now he's working very quickly. A ball and 2 strikes on the Phillies left fielder Pat Burrell.
Klein up and throwing. Dave Beer's going to join him. So I think that pretty much tells you that this will be his last inning of work, and I think it's for the best. It's just getting through it.
Breaking ball, and he froze him. Second strikeout in the inning, and that's number 6 on the day. Boy, he froze Pat Burrell on this pitch.
See if this doesn't back up a little bit. Wasn't the good one. You see how it almost like it starts coming in on him, and then at the last second it breaks.
Here's Lieberthal, the catcher. 1 for 3 on the day. 58,493 here today. Jammed him a bit. It's 1-2.
Yep, still effective up and in. Get up above the hands, locking them up. Lieberthal talking to the umpire.
Lined into center field. There's Edmonds. Morris gives up just 1 run. The home run. It's 5-1 St. Louis. Well, you figure that's going to be it for Matt Morris. He get congratulated by Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa and his teammates. That'll be it for Morris. The Phillies in their half of the 9th will have Travis Lee, Polanco, and Marlon Anderson. So Morris gave up the home run, and that was it. And it's 5-1 St. Louis as we start play here in the 9th. Top of the order due up for the Cardinals. Terry Adams, former Cub and Dodger, is a new pitcher for Philadelphia. 2-4 with an ERA that's close to 5. He's also had some starts this year. Began the season in the Phillies rotation, but was moved into the bullpen about midway through. Primarily has been a reliever in the major leagues. Came up with the Cubs back in 1995. So Terry Adams is the new pitcher. Vina, Drew, and Edmonds for the Cardinals. Fernando today, a base hit. Hit by a pitch. He's been on base twice. Also flied out and lined out. Hot day here in Philadelphia. 58,493. Vina, first pitch to Anderson. There's one out. Final time they'll be able to boo J.D. Drew at the plate. No Scott Rowland in the lineup today. JD singled and scored in a 5-run 6th inning for the Cardinals. Pujols with an RBI base hit. Renteria the grand slam. Two balls and a strike. Here's the count on the hitter, J.D. Drew. J.D. rips it into right field for a base hit. Third time he's been on base here today.
Ball in the middle of the plate and good concentration. The arms extended, whips it through with a follow through. Pops the wrist. 2 hits and a walk.
Edmonds is 0 for 4 today. Reached on an error. Struck out twice. Pujols is on deck.
Rough series for Jimmy. Did have 2 hits yesterday, but the golden sombrero on Friday night, 4 punch outs. Mentioned a couple here today.
Terry Adams was with Los Angeles last year. He's 12-8. Best season in the major leagues. Edmonds shoots that one foul. Mears has been throwing in the Cardinal bullpen.
Take much to get loose today. You know, he threw a little bit last inning.
A strikeout of Edmonds. Three strikeouts today. This one looking.
Well, he didn't really watch where his head is. He'd completely given up on that ball when it was called a strike or across the plate. His head was turned back looking at the backstop.
And it's up to Pujols. The Phillies half of the ninth will have Travis Lee, Polanco, and Marlon Anderson. Albert got things started with an RBI base hit. One ball, one strike. Houston and Cincinnati still stuck in that rain delay, with the Reds up 1-0 early in that game. Pittsburgh leads Milwaukee 3-2. Big rip there by Pujols. Arizona and Chicago have been delayed. Few finals in. Colorado over Atlanta 6-3. LA beat the Mets 2-1. Montreal over San Diego 9-2. So big win for Los Angeles. They lead the wild card now by 3.5 over San Francisco. Check swing of Pujols, and he strikes out. We'll head to the bottom of the ninth, and the Cardinals trying to make it 2 out of 3. (5-1) St. Louis as we move to the bottom of the ninth. Edgar Renteria with the big blow in this game, and it's our Budweiser play of the game. Edgar Al with the grand slam, his first career grand slam.
Yeah, good hitting right there. Made a happy dugout. It was a 1-0 Cardinal lead, and then that put 5 on the board. Matt Morris knew how to hold it, make that stand up.
So that's our Budweiser play of the game. Mind the kids that the Cardinals have added this great promotion. Sunday, August 25th. The Cardinals play the Philadelphia Phillies. It's Jason Isringhausen Growth Poster Day. All fans 15 and under with a paid admission receive a life-size Izzy Growth poster. Compliments of the Midwest Dairy Association. 421-3060 or log on to stlcardinals.com for more information. Here's Dave Veers leading the team's relievers in appearances. This will be number 54. He pitched Friday night here at the Vet. 1 inning, 1 hit, and no runs. So Travis Lee falls behind 0-2. Lee, Polanco, and Marlon Anderson. Morris threw a total of 95 pitches. 75 were strikes. How about that ratio? Good action there on that pitch by Veers. And Lee strikes out. Well, we said this was a good road trip, but it'd be a great one with a win today, and the Cardinals are 2 outs away from making this a great road trip.
Started the road trip 4 games under 500 on the road, and they're going to end up being 1 game over.
Cardinals are 36-22 at home. Here's Polanco, takes a strike. Home plate umpire John Hirschbeck is drenched in sweat. Been a long day for those guys. Scott Rowland was not in the lineup today. We presume he will be tomorrow night as the Cardinals come back home. One and 2 on Polanco.
Polanco 1 for 3 and an infield single in the 4th. Matt Morris was very good. 8 innings, 1 run. That was on the home run by Abreu. 8 hits, no walks, 6 strikeouts.
Polanco and the Phillies will have an off day tomorrow, and then they'll take on Milwaukee coming up. A ball and 2 strikes. Right back to Dave Veers. He stays down and makes the play. There's 2 outs. A lot of action on that pitch, a little splitter by Veers here today.
Yeah, it's only 1 out away from having 1 victory away from tying for the 10th spot in the all-time managerial career win list. And he's still not ready to relax, but soon.
Pitches a strike to Marlon Anderson. Cardinals with a chance at a 6-1 road trip.
Jeremy Giambi will bat if Beers can't retire Anderson.
Ground ball hit to Vina. He's got it. The Cardinals win it. Morris wins his 15th, and the Cardinals win it 5-1.
Hey, good road trip. Keep on winning here, and eventually either Houston or Cincinnati, one of those clubs, have to lose if they get that game played, and they continue tomorrow.
Renteria the grand slam. Morris the win. 5-1 our final. Cardinal baseball on WB11 was brought to you by Budweiser, who salutes America's designated drivers. We all make a difference. By Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with lower fares. By your local St. Louis Chrysler Jeep dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Cardinals on WB11. And by Dobbs Tire and Auto Center, St. Louis's #1 choice for tires and automotive service. On a day in which we honor Harry Callis, the Hall of Fame broadcaster, the Cardinals win this one by the score of 5-1. 2 hours and 32 minutes. Matt Morris is now 15-7. Renteria the grand slam. And the Cardinals now move 4.5 games in front of Houston and 6 in front of Cincinnati. For our Bud Sports crew and Al Raboski, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Thanks for being with us. Phillies and Cardinals will be our next telecast on Friday night.